for all the religions and bringing these things to our attention. I know you work so hard. So thank you very much. I appreciate that so much. Next we have closing comments from the school board and the superintendent, and we'll begin with Ms. Collins.
Did not hear my name. I wanted to say that I know that everyone here has the children as the at heart. That's who we're looking to protect, whether it be through allowing them to do these things or for stopping them to read. We all have the children in mind, and I like to look for win-win. I think having these books still available, but having them not be picked up. I know there were some portions as I read these books that were disturbing and were hard to read. But there are also so many wonderful things in these books that should be allowed. So I'm hoping that these books here today will be a satisfactory situation, maybe a compromise of sorts for both sides. And these new books were brought to light that I was grateful to be able to participate in and looking at. So thank you. Strong.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'm going to try to be brief. Coming from a social economic community, growing up, not having a lot to read, and not that it wasn't available, it was just, sometimes boys are boys. But fast forwarding to where we are now, our schools are overpopulated, our youth are way more wiser than we are. I believe that we always have to have checks and balances, but we also must rely on wisdom and experience when it comes to moving things forward. Everybody has a voice, whether we may agree, and that's why I said unconscious biases. But it is important, if there are no checks and balances, then why are we doing what we're doing? Because ultimately, we are our purpose keeper. And sometimes we don't make the right decisions, but we must never lose the focus of being able to shift and change. A lot of what goes into this, when we just first started, an advocate for making sure our schools are safe, making sure our kids are reading what they need to be reading. From when it was in the classroom starting out, when the libraries and how the statutes dictated where we are now. There will always be a continuation, a continual new model coming out, but we must make sure that we're all working towards the same goal of making sure our kids are safe in a safe environment and that they are able to be productive citizens. I really don't want to spend, if I'm here next year, that's not political, but I refuse to spend the rest of my life trying to decide what's right and what's wrong when it comes to a child reading a book. And we put so much emphasis on kids being able to read at third grade level. These are if they're not reading something, these are kids that are falling in their gaps. And that was one of the things that drilled me to because I was one of those kids, even though I had nurturing parents and a community, the education part, I took it lightly. We cannot afford to do that for our children, to take education lightly. Thank you.
Thank you. Mrs. Brewer.
Thank you for those comments. I think that one of the things that I most appreciate is all of the community input, all of the media committees, library committees. I appreciate Ms. Moore bringing this to our attention. I appreciate can't pull it up online in the media center, on the internet. You have to be cautious about what somebody can turn around and pull off of the shelf. And so I think it depends on someone's maturity. And we're all keenly aware about child development and how students mature at different rates at different times. And so whenever we are faced with this, I do think it's important, understanding that there may be different reasons why everyone doesn't feel that way, but to have parental permission. And that would be my closing comments.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kennedy.
I simply would just like to thank the presenters today, it's more, and from the staff, and also to thank all you folks who took time out of your day to come down here and speak, and also the folks that got online. That's how the process works. So thanks for your involvement.
And piggybacking on that, I just would like to thank everybody who spoke today. Thank you for your civility. I thank you for your passion on both sides of the issue, but I thank you for your civility. We don't always agree on every last thing, but we live in a society where we're free to share our opinions, and I'm grateful that all of you, were able to do that in a civil manner. These decisions are not easy ones, but they're ones that have to be had. So I thank you for your involvement, and I thank you again, Mrs. Moore, for all of your diligent work that you put forward. Superintendent.
Thank you. If I may, I just want to, just for clarity for everybody, here are the 4 decisions that got made, so that I know it clearly and that everybody else knows it clearly as well. And I do want to reiterate what